got 2 minute countdown as soon as the banner went.
Alright, so you got this?
Yeah, got it.
Awesome,
1.5 minutes.
Alright.
1 minute from the group to go.
Yeah, one group goes right post.
Alright, so I've got the live guy already sitting in the saddle instead of standing.
From each in each category are going head to head in this specific zone. So they're going live against each other here. It's essentially what gets them into the top tier of the WTRL rankings.
So this is my favorite discipline, without any doubt, Nathan. The team time trial has a lot of history. As an Olympic event, it was 100 kilometers that they would race. Some things remain true. 1992 was the last year that this was held as an Olympic event. Well, the Italians are still the best out here. The dominant team in both the men's and the women's categories here. We like to call this the coffee class. So you're going to see that.
Come on, guys.
It's true.
So, right, the women are, well, the Vienna, the espresso, the latte, etc. So follow along with us. You can go to zwiftpower.com if you want to look at more information and details on the teams and power. Nathan, that's one of the best things about racing out on Zwift is how much information you can get. Go to Zwift Community Live. You're probably already there if you're watching it, but make sure that you, if you're interested, there's a lot of data that you can get just the same info that Nathan and I use. So, Nathan, it's good.
Yeah, and so let's go ahead and jump into the pens real quick to get a couple of views of what is actually going on here. And I want to give, this also kind of helps to give it, because riders actually are not on course. The event has started, and a lot of times people are like, huh, what is going on here? Well, now, after 2 minutes of waiting, the first team actually jumps out on course. And so the first team that we do have in the espresso pens, the espresso pens are the top category pens. That is going to be the KRT team. They're going to be jumping out on course. It does look...
A lot of time with them out there. If you could show me it.
We've never seen out on Zwift, that is for sure.
She won't be the weak link in the chain out there, if there is one, that's for sure. So, Nathan, I just want to talk about the parameters out here. The teams are 5. Line. So those details might matter. We've seen these come down to hundreds of seconds. They're out here racing on the 8, which was the original subway lines in New York City.
I get it downhill.
World.
I tried to put the batteries in.
Far my favorite world, to tell you the truth. I know it's simple, but just the way it replicates Central Park is so cool. 3 laps out here on this Astoria 8 circuit. And we'll see how many records broken out here today. They're racing all over the world at different time intervals. Nathan, maybe we should talk about that just because you put up there.
Don't follow me.
That we've seen, but this is really dynamic, isn't it? You're going to see records broken throughout the day, or possibly see records broken throughout the day. What are we racing in? 6
minutes downhill. Yeah, 6 different time zones. There are going to be 3 time zones starting all noon to
You got it.
12:30
You got it.
time Central Time USA. So these are the course records currently standing. So the espresso group that we're looking at right now, 45-25, is what the KRT team is going to be looking to break. And you can see with the frappes, lattes, and then the mochas, that's going to be from A down to D class. For those who are familiar with this racing, the red, the blue, the red, the green, the blue, and the yellow. Vienna's women always go first in WTRL, so they're at the top there. That is going to be the women's category.
All right, guys, after this.
First one. Day then on the results, we also have those from the zones that started earlier today, and we do see that some of these records are from today still. So Stefanelli Black Widow, you see them with a 53-minute time from earlier today. In this class with the KRT, obviously Stefanelli there as well with that 45-25. This may have been the first time on this course actually, so that's why the course records are from this morning.
There you go. Yeah, there you go, Nathan. Sorry to jump on you there. Absolutely. Now, for people wondering, as you're breaking that down, we're going to have time checks at 8K, 18K, and 28K out there today, so that'll give us a good look. As Nathan mentioned, the women are out on course first, but Nathan, good catch there. I was thinking to myself, did we just see every record broken out of women's today? But usually what we race on, up till now, we've been racing out on Volcano Flats. This is a different course, and again, I have to admit, bit of a novice at this, but I think, Nathan, that this is the first time that we've ever done a team time trial, or at least what I've seen out here on this course. Again, it'll be perfect for this discipline. So you could do a team time trial on any kind of course, but I think if you really want to know what it's all about, the essence of team time trialing, having a flat to rolling course is ideal. Picking up teams now, just making it up the first few climbs. Nathan, this team looks very well organized, to tell you the truth. They seem to found their, a little ragged right now, but it looks like they've got it well in hand here. The problem
KRT are one of the strongest as well as most experienced teams, though. That's the thing. They are the max team out on course, and one of the longest standing esports teams, actually. I believe they got their kit in game at the same time that it would have been Team Z, which eventually became World Bicycle Relief, which eventually became 3R. So, I mean, talking about how long this kit has been in game, you know, right alongside a Vision, and I mean, they were the first round, I believe, maybe second round of community kits that actually got into the game. So this is a well-oiled machine, and some of these riders here are one of the longest-standing riders, I would think, on the team here as well. And you can actually see, look at the setups that these boys got. Talk about some drops. Talk about some bling out on course here with these S-Works and those 858s. Some pretty serious bike setups you can see here.
I've always noticed, Nathan, that it takes one to know one, and you just got yourself some new. You just probably emptied your drop account, I heard the other day, getting new wheels, and it's part of the experience for those that don't Zwift yet. We would love to get you out there, and you could be riding on this exact same course. I would recommend you try going 54 kilometers per hour as these riders are right now. I mean, look at this. James Hodges, our man out of Great Britain, is hitting it with his team right now. Ollie Peckover. Oh, this is an interesting squad that we're looking at. This could be one of the fastest teams of the day.
By far, as we do get into now. Also, the women's Vienna race just got out on the course. Let's go ahead and jump in with
Joe Hill.
I believe that this is going to be.
You guys are leaving three behind.
Canadians here with
That's 12 seconds.
it looks like, as well as a white and horn here.
It's really like a one.
Here, so I believe this would be.
See you in the next lap.
Of course, amongst them. Let's double check our start list though here as well.
You wait for us right here.
On that side of things, but we will also be taking in splits. The splits will be starting today at let's take a quick look here. I believe we've got 17, 18, and 28 kilometer mark on the day here. So we'll be jumping in with those as quickly as we possibly can. For the start list, I'm just going to read them out here as well real quickly. We do have KISS Racing Team is out on course first, and it's going to be BRT in the Espressos. Dig Deep Coaching, followed up by Race 3R Venge Boys. SSS La Bamba, Evo, the series finale Triathlon, WTRL Volendam. Those boys, watch out for them. Team Keto Auto as well as out there in the top 10 for the Espresso from last week. ATP Racing 1, and that is going to be your top 10 from last week. All starting 1 minute apart from each other, chasing each other down. The DDC boys here are actually, it looks like, closing down some time already. As I go ahead and step back here for a moment, they've got Gallagher, McCann. We'll jump over to our other feed here real quickly. And this is going to be the DDC boys right now. They're shutting down time pretty quickly to that group up ahead.
The broadcast that we do is by far the most challenging. Excellent job there on the controls. We'll try to jump around and trying to look at as many teams out there on course as we can. Nathan, you were just talking about the PO Auto team. That's the danger. They're monsters. There's no doubt about it. I'd be watching out for them to be up and possibly setting a new record on this course as well. Again, riders from all over the world getting into their 5 to 8 rider teams. You can see this discipline requires real dedication. And we've been doing this, the World Tactical Race League, and thanks again to Martin Carew for all the hard work that he does for us, keeping us the data flowing out here. But
Don't forget, you guys need 4.
this is where it gets tricky, right? When you hit the inclines, when the grade goes up over 2%, I mean, that's basically a false flat at 2%. But anything more than that, that's when you start seeing the stronger riders having to governor their effort. You're seeing a perfect example of that. These little it's psychologically damaging. Nathan, that's a big part of time trial racing here, is motivation. Every team needs that rider that is able to just sort of do that status check, constantly taking inventory, making sure that the stronger riders are taking longer pulls, harder pulls, but not faster pulls per se. It's keeping the speed up and high, but not creating little gaps that riders have to keep closing, burning watts, wasting calories.
I'm going to carry on pedaling a little bit, otherwise I will seize up.
Down in the final 5K. That's where you see it completely unravel. As we're going to be jumping around again between the men and the women. Nathan, you were saying 13, 18, and 28K for the Czechs. Somehow I came up with 8, 18, and 28. I apologize for that. So we will be getting you checks from all of the different categories here. Again, this discipline requires that everybody get on the same page. And Nathan,
so as soon as it does come in here, Dave, just so everybody knows, as soon as the splits start coming in, I actually jumped up to the KRT team here, 7 kilometers so far, so at about 9 minutes into the event. So as you can see here, story at line 8, 3 laps total is what we're looking at, and at that 8K mark that we have there, as soon as we get them from the first teams out on course, we will start populating those so everybody can see how everybody's doing across each and every one of the categories.
Nathan, this is the team that has Rachel Elliott.
Where do you go, David?
We're looking at right now.
This is the team with Rachel Elliott. She's not populating in the rider nearby list for some reason. Not exactly sure why, but yes, this most definitely is the team with Rachel Elliott. You can see her right there. She's just on the screen here. Yep, it is the only female avatar there amongst the boys there, as you can see. So, and she is on, it looks like, the Specialized Venge with the 858s, and that is going to be the fastest bike, the road bike in Zwift with that for flats. Maybe not for climbing, but most definitely the fastest bike for course by far.
Yeah.
Nathan, my friend here in Fort Collins, Robinson Noble, worked with him
All
at
right,
the GP of cyclocross.
Let us know when you're done.
Great guy, big fan of you, Rob. Was just asking, are the riders able to talk to each other? Absolutely they are, Rob. They use a thing called Discord. Nathan, right? Everybody's on Discord. Or do they do it? I guess you could use FaceTime, or there's other ways you can.
You could use any program that you would like to. Discord most definitely has become the popular way of doing so. And amongst gamers, that is where it's at. That's where it's at, and it's being adopted by this meeting place of gaming and cycling, and essentially everybody's got some sort of headphones. You can download the app on your phone. You can download it onto your computer. You hook up the microphone and some earbuds, and boom, you're in a server with your friends. It's like a team car essentially. It's essentially a little space where you enter your avatar into there, and boom, you've got a space where everybody can interact with each other vocally. So it's a pretty cool little setup, and we've been using it. It's really funny. There used to be a Discord channel that was at the top of Zwift Riders. So Zwift Riders over on Facebook, which has 63,000 people in the group or whatever. There may be a Discord still in there, but actually before that, we set up a Ventrilo. So anyways, like, those of you who are old school gamers will know what a Ventrilo is. And there was a Ventrilo server that I set up originally for streaming and gaming together with everybody. And then we moved over to Discord as Discord took over the whole online audio space over the last couple of years. So we are starting to get our first splits in here, Dave.
Oh, and we're starting to see riders coming unhinged out of their team. But look at those splits. Nathan, this is like the craziest game of Chinese checkers that was ever created. You've got the gaming element. You've got the physio element here. You're the engine. There's the fact that we're integrating now in real life cyclists, to the Zwift community. It's all coming together right now during this COVID, the pandemic situation. It's just bizarre what's happening. But one of the upsides is we get together every day, or not every day. I wish it was every day, but get together out here and get to actually race. This is
Oh,
as
nothing else.
as it gets.
I just
I don't
found
care either, Rob, but this
her record 110% of FTP for 5 minutes.
picking up
Yeah, if not more.
10K in. As
We're,
they make
yeah,
their
we're
way around.
just starting to get
One
starting
lap.
to get splits to populate here. As soon as they do come up, we'll be taking a look at those. As I am looking, also we are getting some questions about what went down last week and how we got to these times.
Catch up to
Mark's
Martin.
coming in as
Right.
the fastest from last week, so we're gonna see if we can get the population
Oh, yeah,
up
I see you.
in just a moment. And once we do, we'll go ahead and give you guys an idea of how everybody got here with these with the times that they had from last week. So it was some the fastest, I think, last week. TeamODZ have been the team to watch out for. That's been our experience for sure. I believe they started pretty far back, and that would make sense if they're going to be the one of the main chase groups. And here is TeamODZ out on course right now, just 3 kilometers in, solid 5,
That's how you do it,
7
boys.
watts per kilogram here. Look at the steady line here. They are really holding this, not going too far over their what they need to be doing here out on course right now. So Madsen, as you can see now, 6 watts per kilogram right now from this mainly Danish team.
Yeah, a little challenging sector right here, and you can see
2.00.
Ryder had a little bit of
I just found you.
almost immediately. Again, getting a little bit ragged here. This is a tough, as I said, sector of this Central Park loop that they're out on, the Astoria 8. So this team certainly is a benchmark squad, a blue ribbon team, if you will. I don't know if they do the red or the blue ribbon concept in Europe.
Yeah, got done the first lap, right?
Deal right now. You'll watch how quickly this will regroup here, but you don't want to be splitting the team right now because that's going to put a couple guys under pressure. Not what you want to do, but again, it's really hard to have any criticism for this team. One of the best out there. Time taken off the fourth rider's wheel, but you don't want to have 25K go with only 4 guys. There you go. Everything back together. All right. You can see, Nathan, you know as well as anyone how the surge is out here. So the word is finesse. They always talk about, if you go back into the 50s and 60s in cycling, the word is souplesse, the pedal stroke. But part of that is the application, the steady application of power out there. Last thing you want to be doing is spiking your heart rate, surging. It's all about, not flatlining as in dying.
Hey,
It's
Martin, if we get to the start-finish line,
groove at the
why don't we wait there so that they'll have a good marker for
We're
the
approaching here.
Yeah, they're approaching the start and finish line
Choppers,
in a few seconds.
chassis as well.
Or you guys just slow down.
These are world-class triathletes,
be
pro
honest,
athletes. It looks
we've
like
got a bit to go yet.
maybe
We can still
out this week from the Choppers team, which I think is going to open up a
So I think they'll be around the 17 minutes. We've got 3K to go.
The dominant force, amongst
This takes us a while.
maybe not winning every single week, but mostly taking this down. But with only 3 riders out here today, they're going to have their work cut out for them to try and take down the top spot here, I think, amongst the Viennas.
All right, well, this is where I'll show a chink in my armor, Nathan, because I thought you had to have the time off of your 4th rider. Now, you're right. Lucy Charles not being here is a big deal. They do have Nikki Bartlett. She is a monster herself. I'm going to have to check with my man, Martin Carew. Go to the commissioner. Let's see what they can do with 3. Again, the workload just increases with 3 riders in the group. Again, Nikki Bartlett would be the kind of rider I'd want on my team time trial team, that's for sure. Nathan, the Choppers, I would have to say in that category, Vienna, they've been the most dominant team.
All right, so you guys came in at 18.
That's factoring in Lucy Charles and being out there.
Yeah, 100%. I think they've been the dominant team, but watch out for Revo Locos. They've been. I saw them posting out on the socials recently, as well as ATP Racing. they're another team I'd be watching out for. Very vocal team. Obviously, anybody who's in the top 10 here is going to be somebody to watch out for. Also, HDRL, we've actually seen this team. This is a name that you're going to need to remember out here when it comes to the top times. We've seen them right up top, as well as that Valkyrie team. Man, this Vienna, actually, I think I'm going to end up going through here and be like, well, this team, this is the top 10 amongst all the women in this Vienna. HDRL ladies here. You can see Aussie Hump Day ladies team. They have, I believe they were right up against or even took down the Choppers one of the past weeks here. So watch out for them to be setting some course records, perhaps up against what we saw earlier this morning in Zone 1. Solid ride here so far. Now, it looks like, though, they've already dropped off, I believe, one of the riders here. So it looks like Akshay here now unable to hang on out of Australia. So Purcell hanging on the back there, 5.6 watts. Pace here for Bournemouth. That is a solid 4.8. Amongst the ladies, that is a world-class effort there on the front, that's for sure.
That is smoking, no doubt.
Are you guys waiting?
Nathan, I know what you're talking about there when you looked. I mean, this is the collection of heavy hitters that we have. This team time trial discipline, correct me if I'm wrong, Nathan, but I don't know that we see this anywhere else out in the Swift community of racing. Very, very unique event. Today, the Astoria 8 Central Park. If you're just joining us, I see a lot of folks jumping on. Great to have you watching. This team time trial format, 5 to 8 riders, time taken off of the 4th rider's front wheel as they cross the line. They're doing 3 laps on this circuit. Again, one of the classic worlds on Zwift, Central Park, where we're out riding. And
we're looking to get in with TeamODZ here. I do see the request for following all the different riders out on course, and we will jump in with them as quickly as we possibly can. Over on the Espresso side of things, we're going to check out what ATP is up to, and this is another team that jumped into the top 10 amongst the Espresso group right now. Mike Scaffardi here from ATP currently hammering away. They're pushing a solid 4.3 or so at the front. Our splits are going to be coming in just a moment. I know you guys are going to be wondering what kind of times is everybody hammering down. We've got a couple of data collection things going on the fly. So as we get those updated, we will bring those in. But currently, this team, they started in the so ATP La Bamba. They were actually, excuse me, not ATP, ATP1. They started actually all the way in, I believe it's 9th place. So they have made up some solid times here, it looks like. Ben Crookston here now, hammering away with Connor right on his wheel. Mike Scaffardi is there as well. It looks like Team Peel Auto, though. Long, but not on the ATP Racing 1. So ATP Racing 1 with 2 minutes on them here, and I believe there was a 1 minute gap. That is unlike Peel Auto, actually. So we're going to see if they can shut down some more time.
You 5 guys in front of absolutely killing
If I
this.
get this incorrect, I'm going to have to double check all of our numbers as the splits do come through. That ATP have put a minute into Peel Auto, who have been probably the strongest team that we've seen in the past weeks, actually. The only other team I would watch out for, though, is this Volendam team. They have been absolutely alongside of the Peel Auto. It's been essentially Volendam up against Peel Auto each and every week, and everybody else looking for the spots behind.
I think I'm like 2 ahead of you.
And David, you might have muted yourself there.
TV, I guess, just passed us.
This PO Auto team here might not be having a vintage performance. If that is correct, then I have no reason to doubt you on that. There's a lot going on for folks watching at home with these offsets. Starting all of these teams, Nathan, is quite a procedure, that's for sure. As again, we have riders in 6 different time zones around the world. The Italians have been time zone 1. They kicked things off earlier today. So the best times that we've seen have been coming from the Chicli Stefanelli squads. They have multiple teams in different categories. We're now looking at this Danish. Right now in Denmark, I'm guessing it's about 7:30 at night. That's an interesting time of day for your biorhythm, right? To be racing. I think most riders like to do this around 10, 11 in the morning. Nathan, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would think that, well, I guess it also depends on your clock. I like racing at night, but I mean,
it depends on what you're used to as well, right? I mean, once you build that pattern into your life, yeah, sure, I get it, totally.
But yeah, definitely, if you've had one thing is, I mean, it depends on also what work life is like and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of times, I mean, right now everybody's pretty much hanging out at home. So if you sit on the couch watching Netflix, or I don't know, maybe you're out in the garden and took a walk or something, you know, maybe people might be a little extra fresh nowadays. Who knows? At 7 p.m. at night. But you know, I have a feeling that this is a popular time though. You know, the numbers tell us. The thing is that the numbers tell us on Zwift that a lot of people like to ride between 6 and 8 p.m. out of Europe because that is when you see peak Zwift on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now, recently, with COVID-19 and all this, the weekends have gotten a lot more popular at this time of year because people are looking to be outside. They can't get riding outside as much, so on their activity times, everybody's going into Zwift in order to get their activity time. So the weekends, they've really seen a bump. But Tuesdays and Thursdays, those times between noon and 2 p.m. have almost always been prime time. The peak Zwifts have always happened at that time. So for some reason, that 6 to 8 European is a very popular time. And maybe it's just the group ride time, right? You go out to your local group ride, and you usually finish between 5 and 7 p.m.
Well, and there's a lot of that, the dads inside riding trainers and moms inside riding trainers that at that point in the day, maybe go watch a movie or something, and you can get some you time. For a lot of folks out there, Zwift is what they do when they have their time, getting that exercise. Mental health, Nathan. I think that when you look at the upside and downside of everything that's happened with the worldwide pandemic, one thing is the folks that came to Zwift are themselves in a much better mental health state. I think maybe more importantly physical at some point, you know. Getting that exercise. It's both, isn't it? It's the yin and the yang in life for sure. I'm on a real Buddhist tilt lately. If you haven't even noticed. So, as we pick up this team here, Nathan, again, most of the squads are about halfway into their effort out here on the Astoria 8 Central Park course, 3 laps today. If you're at 11.4K, you've just completed your
You stop in here,
and that's actually my mistake on Lucy Charles. So I believe
she is there.
She's out on the course. It looks like, or out Swifting. So perhaps she
how far you guys got?
in the race on today. Maybe she's just out getting her workout. It looks like Bartlett here, though. Yep, right alongside it looks like the rest of the choppers. So these guys definitely still working together here with the choppers. 54 kilometers in. Lucy, probably out there doing a training ride, actually, is what's happening.
Right. About 9 or 10 minutes before they cross the finish line.
Focus out there today rather than racing. And, you know, that's one thing I had to be really disciplined about in my racing is making sure that I was not always just having fun, because racing is so much fun out on Zwift. Well, type 2 fun. That's the reality. But you know, and just keeping that discipline in there to make sure that I'm getting those training sessions is extremely important. As we look at the Valkyries here from that Vikings team here, all out of Norway, trying to chase down. It looks like this is a drop-off group though from the Valkyrie team. Maybe trying to bring back a minute here, because you look ahead here as they've dropped off one of the main contentions.
Nathan, if you get dropped out of your team time trial team and you are able to rejoin, the team is a disaster. Because if you are dropping a rider and then he comes back into the team, what does that say about the guys who are the rest of the guys that are still driving the pace, right? So that's not an ideal scenario. I wanted to go back to that Lucy Charles comment. Maybe she pulled a Delgado. I don't know if you would remember this one, Nathan, because you have to go back to the late 1980s for the previous year's Tour de France winner, Pedro Delgado from Spain, ends up missing the start to his time trial. That was in the, and it was actually the prologue of the event. But that was back in the days when there were no trainers. The riders to warm up would actually go ride their bike and warm up. And it was in Paris. He got over on the wrong side of a river, and you can imagine what that's like, right? He knew he was missing his start. He could not get back to the start house because of the craziness that is the Tour de France, and bridges being closed, and police officers telling him he couldn't go over the bridge. And can you imagine that? So I hope that Lucy Charles didn't go through that today. I'm sure she did.
We are seeing some of the splits are starting to come in. We're just making sure that all of our times are correct, though, before we actually bring them through. We definitely don't want to give any kind of bad information. I know a lot of the racers out there are using the stream in order to get good time checks on how everybody is doing and what they need to beat. It helps with the accuracy. So we just want to make sure that we're giving accurate
This is
information.
fun.
Bring the time splits in as soon as we make sure that we do have accurate information for everybody on what they are accomplishing. But
I've got 2 days rest for 9 minutes riding.
there. Total, I believe, what are we on here today for total 3
Okay.
laps? We're looking at around 30,
I
about
guess
7K.
the answer to that is don't be so slow, eh?
Solid effort.
You
I
just
would
might
say
see
is
that.
14K in for this Valkyrie
There you
team. Moving forward just a little bit. This was the first team out on course, the ESP.
Look
course.
at
Alright, we're gonna
Yeah,
give you guys we're gonna do some complex math here in a second. When you guys hit 30 minutes, we're gonna tell you what your average speed is.
Be M. Burns from Cryogen. I wonder if this is a part of the team and they split
Hold
apart.
on, I
No,
just
maybe
reset
this
it. We'll see if
Cryogen
we
team
can
that's
back
actually
on.
we're one of the
This
first
is
ones.
While you're doing it, I can tell you that mechanized average speed's about 13 kilometers an hour.
Again, very complex. With this team control. Discipline to do this broadcast. You're doing a fantastic job. As riding in that double pace line is obviously the way to do it. You don't really realize how hard
Real
it is
quick,
to
Dave. There's a catch actually being made right now here. This is the Irish
Alright,
Celtic Queens just went by. It looks like the Revo team out on course at the 16.3 mark. I believe that this team right here is going to be your
That's
leader
to turn the fans off from cold, man.
of that. I mean, that catch would mean that at least a minute has been
Wow,
taken off,
good
maybe
job.
more from the Ireland Celtic Queens. So the Ireland Celtic Queens,
Like,
they're
it's
looking
probably
like
extremely
one of the
good.
strongest teams. And because of this Premier League, now it's a back and forth battle. Though. Look at this. This is it
Wow.
getting interesting here amongst these ladies here.
But
As
remember, they're a
guys
minute
are actually miles away from us.
Exactly.
They're motivated. So that, in
No,
a
it's not.
way, this is not as impressive as you would think, because these two teams are not.
So am I right in thinking
Alright, 40.4 kilometers an hour average speed. Good job, guys.
All of a sudden, they get a little more motivation. The adrenal gland goes tapped and is wide open. That will wear out. The Celtic.
Are they on that for you or no?
monster.
I'm confused. I can't work it out now. I don't know if
They
how
go
we
down that
cross paths when we do this or what. I don't think we do.
Flying right now. A lot of credit to the Irish women here.
Only 30 minutes have passed, so they should be on
team out on course this
1.75.
So the Revo
be
Lopez
about
is the
the
first team
lap.
out on course. And have 10 seconds to make up of it. Big shout out to
That
Revo
would mean
Lopez
that
being
we're already on their third lap.
specifically.
Yeah, we're gonna
Sarah
do
Watt
that
was
third
post
lap.
out there today saying, I'm going to be racing in the
Oh,
Premier
great.
League. Come check out the Revo ladies. Absolutely love that post out there today. And great to see them
Just-
looking to try and chase that
This is
down.
why you stream this, Jason.
Can't get too out of control,
Yeah.
though. It does look like Brinkley here's, come on, girls, let's go. 2.8 at the front, 180 beats per minute. They're getting away from us. Let's try and bring back some of that time. We're racing against everybody on course and everybody throughout the day. Let's hold on to the time that till at least the top 10.
Oh,
everybody
good, you
out
guys.
today,
Five
because
at the
that is
front.
at risk. The Premier League spot is at
Brett's
risk.
nailing it at the front with Simon right behind
So
him.
holding on to that status is an important thing amongst these teams.
Roger coming out 4.5. Go back to the front. Best
Just
stuff.
like the English Premier League in football, you have to prove yourself. But in this case,
Right, there is a
Jason
sprint.
says, week in, week out. So no doubt the Celtic Queens are going to make the top 10.
They might be racing each other at 4.0 at the moment.
World. As Nathan, you could even
I know.
win the time trial here and have the best time for after
Up
the
the hill they go.
It could change
Back
a
to
little
flat.
bit later in the day. So we have a lot of racing to do. Here we go. This classic back and forth. Now, if you're actually out there on the road, this is a really tricky situation because you have all the team cars and official cars to deal with. It's a lot cleaner out in the world of Zwift as we watch this back and forth battle going on.
Now we are going to pop on over to the Espresso men here real quick, everybody. We are looking to try and jump into the frappes and the mochas, you guys, as well as the lattes. I'll see if we can get in with them. Swapping between categories can be super dangerous here out on course when we're trying to cover the TTT. When we have two Zwifts up currently, everybody.
Oh,
we're looking to try and
4.6
have
from Simon at
4
the
or
front.
5 Zwifts.
Everybody
up
else
in
following.
each one of the classes and get everybody
Strong
on screen
stuff.
throughout each one of the classes. The best
Kilometer 22 for the front group in five.
have
Group
right
in
now, we
front.
are covering the elites amongst the men, the elites amongst the women, or elites amongst the co-ed espresso, and the elites amongst the Viennas. But we will jump over as best as we can to the other categories. We do see a catch being made, though, here it looks like. Oh, no, that was another team just being caught in another section real quickly there, as DDC with Dan Fleeman here 3.4 watts per kilogram sitting in as on the front. Addison continues on. McCann here now taking his pull at 6 watts.
I tell you what, this is
Coming
just
through
amazing.
at
It's fun.
23K
Wow.
marker.
And keep it going,
Way
guys.
to look at the effort being made by this squad. Nathan, again, the team name here that we have on screen.
This is Dig Deep Coaching, DDC.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, let's see what they've got. Next time we go look
All
at
right,
this
it's about
stuff,
4
look
minutes,
at the
54
watts per
parts
kilo that
you
these
guys.
guys are putting out. This is an
watching
exceptional
numbers
team.
that
Dan
are
Fleeman has world tour chops, and
So
so
that's
these are the guys that
from the
are
group
working
about
on
to
this
claim the last hill to the banner.
next level. Nathan, watch out. This is a top 3 ride at worst here from DDC.
Yeah, I would have to say they have been very motivated. I've been getting a lot of messages actually from DDC specifically on this saying we're showing up with a solid team. Addison was posting across the socials as well about it, how they were really motivated. And Fleeman today, obviously coming from the Dig Deep coaching team,
lose Brett, guys.
as a coach, has been a major part of that organization for a long time. Now, he did get picked up by indoor specialists, so this is a guest ride today by Dan Fleeman, jumping into his old team. Indoor specialist not feeling the team, I do not believe, in the team time trial out here today. So obviously giving the go-ahead to Fleeman to fly the DDC flag out here today, which adds a ton of firepower to this team. I mean, this boy can absolutely hammer. When you're watching out in the classics, didn't he win one of the classics just recently, a couple weekends ago? So I mean, amongst the top teams that are out on Zwift, World Tour pros jumping in amongst the top esports team, and this man walked away on the Richmond course.
Submitted
What you call
like
a ringer.
5 behind you guys.
Without any doubt. Rafferty Smith also on
weird
this
with
team. I'm
time.
going to spend a little time with
I have no-
DDC.
I have no
Moran,
idea.
the Irish rider.
next.
This team has
I
really
can't
depth.
hit.
It is not just Dan. These guys are rolling.
They're only
They're
about
doing it.
2 kilometers behind us.
In fact, they're putting up.
Yeah, because I see the Spitfires behind us in 3 minutes, so
That's Fleeman.
they're 3:30 behind us.
Yeah, if the UCI were involved in this, Nathan, we'd never be allowed.
You let me know when you want to roll
to
back.
this team. I love the fact that we have the freedom to do
Yeah,
that.
well, I might have to start going. I think if I try and go from 0 to
There's a
4,
lot of freedom amongst the
we'll die.
racing as well. So it's
Cool.
Yeah, yeah,
as long as we
very
don't
cool.
take advantage of it. Yeah, exactly. These guys
Like
seem to
an
understand
hour
the
or
give and
something.
the take and the ebb and the flow of what it takes to make
Right,
racing
right,
fun.
right.
Pushing it into the ridiculous range, which they are not in any way.
I was just following.
Then who do we have here?
back on
it's
with the
going
Vikings and the Valkyrie.
right?
Yeah, the Norwegian and a couple of Swedish flags that looks like guest riding there on the team here. Yeah, well, it's all in that Viking type area, of Scandinavian area
Scandinavia,
of
right.
of Europe here, hammering away together here as they push out that 18-kilometer mark. 27 minutes into their race, as you can see, looking to chase down. They actually caught the cryogen team, it looks like here. Next on their list, only about 30 seconds up, is going to be IRLCTD and the ESP team from Canada. So they're just ticking off minutes that have
How
been
far
given to
ahead of
other
it?
teams
Sorry,
here,
you, David.
one by one. They're gonna have a
Nice,
solid,
Nick.
solid
I
time,
got
it
you, I
looks
got
like,
you.
here with
I'm
this
ahead of you.
Valkyrie team. They're looking to be the number one, I think, out here. They're looking to be. Not sure they're going to make it
4.5
because those
now, you guys
Celtic
are moving
Queens
a little bit.
up ahead, they have been dominating on the day. I'd say they're the favorites, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. We can see D. Kelly, too, there up ahead. About 2.5 minutes. The Valkyrie, where did they start on the day? Taking a quick look here amongst the the Valkyrie started 1, 2, 3, 4,
How the hell
6th
are you doing
place
that, Brett?
actually, and
Holy
only
smokes.
2:45 ahead. The Valkyries have taken back a ton of time actually
Adam's coming around
against
the edge of
those
the lake right
Ireland
now.
Celtic Queens. So watch out for this team. They may be the
Now
threat
you
for
guys
the
all
day.
disappeared on the map. What the
Yeah,
hell?
the Celtic Queens
Yeah, I
went
know.
out really hard.
Yeah,
No doubt about it. They
I'm
might
with you,
be
bro.
paying a price for that. It's interesting. Ireland and Norway are both nations of less than 5 million people, right in that range. I think Ireland's slightly smaller than Norway. Sweden significantly larger than both.
course, you
those. I
can't
think
see 'em
maybe
anywhere on the
3 times
leaderboard
as
now.
large as Norway. But absolutely,
Yeah.
the Scandinavians were some of the early
Closing up
adopters
quite a lot now.
of Zwift, and you really see that in Zwift racing. There are a ton of Swedish and Norwegian
Now it shows
flags
you guys
out
are
there.
further
Maybe
back
not
than
as
you were a
many
minute ago.
Finnish
Good enough.
flags as Norwegian, that's for sure. But the Valkyrie team, these ladies are legends, no doubt about it. So this squad, I mean, Vikings. You're right, Nathan. Scandinavia is one of the regions of the world that seems to have developed just extremely fierce
I don't get that at all.
people with a lot of heart, and that's what time
Oh, yeah,
and
now it's
discipline actually.
Now
I think
it's
it's because the course
I hate to say it, but
crisscrosses.
this
Yeah,
discipline
crisscrosses.
requires
Yeah.
discipline.
They can't figure
Because
that out.
when you look at team
All right, so I
time
think you're a
trialing,
minute
it makes
back
a
now.
big,
You're still waiting for them, right?
everything
I'm just
matters
hella
out here.
slow, so I
But
don't
your
get my nose
ability
blown off.
to read what your teammates are feeling, being able to give a little when they need it, being able to take a little more when they've got it.
So is this
and
where it
making
gets
sure that
comedy and we get
everybody
dropped within 10
finishes what's
seconds,
on their
Mitch?
plate at the same
Oh,
time.
if we even catch.
That's really the trick here, is making sure that you can get, I mean, ultimately not everybody, it's the fourth rider that matters. I mean, in real life racing, one thing we don't have on Zwift is flat tires. We do have,
All right, here's his
much
Spitfire team.
anymore.
Is,
I haven't seen much of it, Nathan.
well,
the
hell, I
power
can't tell where they
dropouts, it's good to see. See, most folks have got
I've
that
got them on
all
the
sorted
map,
out,
and
because that's always a bummer, without any
they're
doubt.
closing
A flat
really
tire
fast.
or a
Yeah,
power
here they
dropout
are.
about the same level of
So you guys just made a
bummer.
right.
10 seconds.
Bummer if you do get one of
You
those.
see
Doesn't
him?
look like Jonathan Levi's getting one. He's just making his way to the back because we did see him pull at
All right, I
7
still
watts
gotta
per
wait for
kilogram
weight.
almost there for a moment. That was the man with
Magic of
one of the
Zwift.
fastest
All right, here you
times
guys
over the
come.
top of the forward KOM. And Levi right back to the front. It
You're
looks
doing
like
great,
here.
23
So
kilometers.
not taking too much time as Hodges now makes his way to
Come
the
on,
back.
Scott
It looks
and Martin,
like
let's
the
go.
tactic here from the KRT team, who has put a huge amount of time actually into the BRT team. About a minute 18 is the difference between KRT and the BRT team. BRT started second on the day. KRT started first ones to go out, and they already have put a minute 15 or so, minute 19 in. Looks like Rich Elliott just hanging on in the back
Well,
here,
now-
5.3 watts per kilogram. Hodges and Levi showing that they're the strongest ones on this team. They're doing the brunt of the work, it looks like, as they trade poles at the front. Now Hodges to the back. I think he's going to get a little rest. I wouldn't be surprised to see him right back to the front after Levi's pole.
Yeah, Nathan, they're galloping now. As a matter of fact, these little splits are okay because at this point, you're just a few clicks or at less than one click away from the finish line. So now it's just every man for himself. Pour it on board.
Come on,
A little
Simon.
more coal on the fire here is the finish
Yeah,
line.
pay attention.
believe,
We're looking
Nathan,
at
correct me if I'm
34
wrong,
kilometers.
34.
Right around
I had
34.
it
Right
wrong. I
around
apologize.
our distances
Yeah.
from Zwift Power can be up to a half a K or so off. So right around 34 is what we're looking at. Yeah.
Okay, so they do need to stay organized then. I
Simon, how
correct
you doing?
myself here. There you go, guys. Good.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, you can see this is where, too, you start to see that it's not really the ability level or the motivation. It's some guys are feeling good at this point. They're really finding their rhythm. Other guys are struggling and hanging on. You need to communicate that if you're in trouble, especially if you're in a fourth rider situation
Brett,
where the
you
guys
still there?
need to know, guys, you push a little harder and I'm going to come
Right.
off this wheel and then we're going to lose another 5 seconds as we try to reorganize that. And the whole goal is to not mess around. These guys look really good right now, Nathan. This is KRT that we're looking at in blue.
Yeah,
I
KISS
believe.
Racing Team. Rachel Elliott here on the back. Do you know Rachel Elliott's story, Dave? It's a pretty amazing one, actually.
Enlighten me.
Yeah, so
Mitch,
Rachel
on your own.
Elliott, one of the longest standing
Yeah, where'd I go?
racers as far as
There we are.
esports go, invited to all of the first. This woman was so strong, she was not
I'm not.
believed. Up front, people were like, no way, no way. And she got a lot of flack. The reality is she showed up to the in real life stuff and did exactly what she was showing us
Good
online.
for her.
And
Good
just
for her.
just absolutely, she was showing up to the A category races. They
I'm a
weren't
lot of
A category then. It was just the Zwift ZTR races back in the day, and just demolishing the field a lot of times. She'd be in the top 5 over and over again from the co-ed racing. Just a monster of a rider here. And a couple years back, she had a stroke, and Zwift kept her going. Actually, her fitness gone, all of this stuff, and the community came around her. Within, I think, 3 months, she was back on. I don't know how much time went by,
Yeah,
but
just
I mean,
past you
within a
guys
couple of
around
days,
the,
she was
left
pedaling
lane.
on Zwift actually with a little setup that was almost like a recumbent in her hospital room.
Yeah, I
and
know, I know.
through Zwift racing and then also tandem riding, she's now competing in real life. A little bit of blindness that came from the stroke and everything, but this is
I don't
like
have
an
that at all.
amazing story where she is competing now back at or better than the level that she was at post-stroke.
All right,
It's
you're 30
absolutely an
seconds
amazing
behind me.
story. One of the strongest women that we've ever
Yeah,
seen
and I'm
racing out on Zwift, and it's one of,
I
it's one
can't
of the
figure out
best
where the hell
stories
are-
you could possibly
Yeah,
have because
they're
of
right behind
the
you.
ability
I
it
see
gives her,
them.
even with
easier
a
to see
small
on the map,
disability now after
unfortunately.
that stroke. It's so great to see her at this elite level still competing because of her involvement in the community and the platform and her just pure sheer will to say that she loves to race.
That ladies and
Of course,
gentlemen,
it's fucking
is why
torture.
we do this.
It is.
That is awesome,
It is
Nathan.
pretty
Thanks,
terrible.
man. Rachel, you are now my hero. That's quite a story. So that's going to be Rachel Elliott that we're looking at right now in the KISS Racing team. Nathan, thank you for that. That's what's so important. This is a community to think about that what Rachel has been through. And again, there are women's teams out here. Rachel's jumping in with
Okay,
a
warming up all
squad that
over
is
again.
all the other riders are men. She is doing more than her share of work on this team. That's a story
About
that
20
needs to be
seconds.
told. Nathan, thank you for
25.
telling it. Very, very cool. So they are right now about well, now I can recalibrate
I don't know what's
1.5K
going on with my stream.
from
It
the
was fine
finish as we take a
yesterday
look
doing
at
a
KISS
workout.
Racing team. 5 riders still together.
They're going to
5
break
to
the
8
record. They're
riders.
going to break the
Same
record
problem
already.
here, David.
45 minutes was the record from Stephanie Hulk this morning. I see your chat, Jason Flores. I see your chat, SSS team. You guys, we are looking to get in with every team. The way that I am, just as a heads up, the way that
TFC
I'm
ahead of
doing
you
this,
guys?
simply
Yeah.
because some of the issues
I
that are
won't block
coming
it
through
too
on the
bad
back
then.
end with our data, we are needing to go backwards as team finish. So we will cover teams similar to
They
what
got
you
one
see
guy
in
dropped.
real life TT a lot of times. They go backwards as teams come in. So they cover the first front runners, and it helps us keep things
There you go.
organized right now as we are having trouble jumping around on course. Some of our tools with the companion app and some other things are not jumping around for us right now. Very oddly, usually it does, but the fan view is not jumping around. So just as a heads up to everybody, we're doing the best we possibly can. We will catch your teams as they come in, but we're going to go backwards with each one of the teams to make sure that we see what they get for times at the top of the screen as they come in. We'll be able to see the times between the top 3 or 4 as they go through here, because I can at least click back and not lose the riders nearby
many
here. As
you
we
guys
can look at
got
the BRT teams, the second one to start out on
5.
course. They have lost, it looks to be about 2 minutes to the front
5,
runners
yeah.
right now. The first starters that will be the KRT team. We'll have to see how that compares as
That's
each
the amount I
one
always
of
want to
the
see on
teams
the
come
board.
through. As you can see here, BRT currently at a 42.45, but solid K back.
Yeah, a lot of moving pieces out there, that's for sure, as we're still, so 35K is the distance here, 1K to go. Now we're coming right up on 1K to go is going to be the KRT team, Rachel
Remember the
Elliott
original
and company.
4. You'll have to go through.
Yeah, they're going to have a
Ara,
left-hand turn.
Pilar.
You'll
Good
job,
see
Mitch.
the finish coming in here in
Hodges.
just a moment. Hodges, yeah, absolutely flying here. But Clark taking his Barra now actually at the front here. As you can see, 6 watts per kilometer, 400 watts. This is that final kick. Have you ever seen in real life TTT? The rider starts standing up and they're just holding on, getting every rider across the line as fast as they can, getting into that 7 now, 300, 400 watts here. Going to be a little uphill kick here. They've got to come right to the line, and this little uphill kick is going to matter. If there's seconds on the line, every rider has to push like this last little kick is a sprint to the line. And there it is, 9 watts per kilogram. Levi now pressing on, saying, come on, team. KRT now, make it happen. We're looking at just under 45 minutes here, and I think it's about a minute. That's going to be, I believe, a team record here. Solid result here coming in from the KRT team. We're going to jump back to 3R here just so that we do not lose the riders on course. They're 32-3 in at 42 minutes. BRT is just a little ways ahead of them. We're going to see if we can jump in with them as well in just a moment.
No
But
big deal
solid
to the
result
very
there, it
end.
looks like. I believe that's going to be the new course record on the day because it was 45-25 from Stefanelli Hulk.
All right, no surprise, Nathan, to see records falling as we've got a lot of teams that are now closing in on that finish line here in our Premier League. But that, again, let's see what the PO Auto team has been able to put together here. We've got some big names that are going to be finishing in the next 5 minutes here.
The thing in the rules
5 kilometers, 3 laps
explicitly
here
forbid what we
around
did.
Central Park, and it is business
It is or
time
is
as
not?
we
Don't
our
know.
way into that final kick. Yeah, it is pandemonium when you're on a team that's into that last 500 meters. Nathan, there's very few things in life that are as satisfying as finishing as a unit
He
in
was
a
just
team
making
time
sure we
trial.
weren't teaming
The
up, I
amount of, I don't know, exterior pressure that one would feel going into the event, especially if you're a bubble rider that comes in is not the strongest on the team with the biggest reputation. You don't want to let others down. That's a big part of it. You want to get the most out of yourself. And I mentioned earlier, communicating amongst the team about when you don't feel that you really can take a pull, don't take a pull. And but you know, when you're able to participate, you do participate. These are the